Zach, I told you we were bringing Jesea Lee on. It was happening. We talked about it last week. She's here.
George, you're being dead serious because the last time you told me you were bringing up somebody that was kind of like interesting at a minimum. You told me it was the Ram Ranch guy, and ended up not being the Ram Ranch guy. So I was like, "Are you sure you got this going today?" And lo and behold, Jesea, you have joined us finally.
I'm here. Against all odds, I've shown up.
Yeah, for sure. We're drinking, we're chilling, dude. It's a pleasure having you on, man. And it's really nice to build this community together within TikTok. And dude, I don't know what phone you got. You said you got the iPhone recently off the record, but dude, like the content that you're putting out there for TikTok is really enhancing like every single day. That's wild, dude.
Thanks, man. Well, dude, so I used to always do it like all through the app. I used to make all the videos through the app, and like in the beginning, I was kind of like under the assumption from like what I had like seen other influencers talk about was that like if you make content through the app itself, that the app pushes it out further because it recognizes it and stuff. But I don't know. Yeah, I started editing stuff outside the app, which gives you so much more control over like the quality over it and like the and editing like the transitions and shit. And yeah, once I started doing that, the views started like, I mean, knock on wood, they started going up like crazy, So it's like I don't know if that was true what I was being told in the early days. But yeah, and yeah, of course, when I got the iPhone 12 Pro, like that definitely jumped things up a little bit too. Because it's got, dude, I don't know if you have that phone yet or not, but it's got like four fucking it's got like 4 fucking cameras on it. It weighs like 13 pounds. Like it's insane.
It's amazing. I'm actually like really glad. I kind of wanted to wait for the 13. Not gonna lie, and I was like, you know what, dude, I'll just wait it out. And then we DM'd before we started the podcast. Like my phone literally took a shit. Like I couldn't text like certain fucking letters, and I was trying to buy Dance Gavin Dance tickets last night. That was a problem because like they're selling out earlier, or they're selling out everywhere. Am I slurring my words on one beer? I should really calm down.
That happened to me last week, dude. I was trying to buy Mod Sun tickets. My phone. That's when my phone started fucking up on me. Like I still didn't get the tickets. I think it's sold out already too.
Oh my god, everything's selling out. And remember when we had that convo back a couple weeks ago when your phone or your videos were getting a little glitchy and stuff? That started happening to me too.
So I was on a Google Pixel 3 when that started happening. And so I just actually transferred my whole life over to Apple, like in the last month. Like I was anti-Apple my entire life. And then I don't know, like the last month I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to, try something new and switch my whole life over because I don't know how great Apple is. So, because I needed a new computer too. So I just went balls deep and, got the computer, the phone and all that. And then like, I've been like a grandpa trying to get used to technology, like, trying to sign in this shit and trying to figure out like what like Safari means and all that shit, and, I mean, so far it's until the phone started shitting on me, it was pretty cool, but I mean, hopefully it's all fixed now.
No, it's dude, as long as, you're able to like feed your content through, your channels, because you source your TikToks not only through that app, but then you put them into Reels on Instagram too. Have you seen a big change when you started doing that?
Well, so yeah, funny story about that too is when my phone was really crapping out there for a minute, I had to record. I could record the because the only thing that was crapping on me was TikTok on that old phone. So I was recording everything on my phone, editing it through InShot, then emailing the video to myself, uploading the video to TikTok from my computer, and then posting that way because that was the only way I could post it without it coming out all glitchy. But then when you did that, like you couldn't like edit the audio too. It was really fucking garbage way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying your best. That's all you could do, Like,
yeah, I was just trying to get stuff up there that wasn't like clipping, and because it was like getting all pixelated. But yeah, so I started putting stuff up on Reels because like once I started making the content outside of the TikTok app, I had the native video that I could upload without that TikTok watermark finally. So I was like, well, fuck it. It's literally zero extra effort on my part. I'm literally just posting it. And initially it was kind of a pain in the ass because like you go through all the posting, the captions, the hashtags and stuff. It's like, oh, I got to do it all again on another app. And like once you like do it a few times, you kind of get used to it. But initially it was like, this is annoying. But once I started doing that, yeah, like probably the first 6 months of doing that, like nothing. Like I get the Reels got like, a couple hundred views on them or something like that, but I wasn't very consistent on it. I was posting whenever I think about it, like, oh yeah, I should post that on Reels. And then like I started being really diligent on Instagram Reels about 2 months ago, really, and I went 4,000 followers on Instagram up to like I think I'm at like 14,000 now. So
Right.
It definitely helps, man. Reels is like the new, like pretty much the only way to get organic reach, I feel like, on Instagram right now.
Yeah, and you figured out a way to honestly, bring more attention to that channel, because now they've realized, like, and it's cool in their bio because it says, I'm cooler on TikTok. Go follow me on TikTok. So that basically kind of also fuels that up at the same time. So it's just incredibly fucking genius, dude, on your end. But I remember when I started too, like, I didn't know there was this collective group of emos, alternative kids, people in general that are on TikTok. And I talked to Zach about this last week. It seems like TikTok's trying to rebrand now that music is starting to get a little bit more popular than these trends and dances and such.
Yeah.
It looks like music's kind of taking over in a bit on this app.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because like when you're on the app, everything on your feed, the longer you're on, the more it's curated towards you and what you want to see and what you're into. So sometimes you kind of like start viewing the app in almost like a bubble. Because I've done that before too, where like I'm thinking like, oh man, there's so much emo and pop punk content out there. And I'm like, where was this stuff at before? It was just because it wasn't being fed to me before. And then I look at my wife's phone and she just has the trends and shit. Cause like she's not into like the subculture stuff. So it's like, it's weird. I definitely think the music stuff is becoming more popular on there, but it's weird how like I said, you can almost become in like a little For You page bubble where you don't even realize like dude, like there's big trends on TikTok that I'm on TikTok literally every day, and there's big trends I miss out on. I never see because the page, it doesn't filter to me. They TikTok's like, no, he doesn't give a shit about the Renegade number 3 or whatever, so they don't show it to me. Like, but yeah, I definitely think it's definitely becoming the way a lot of bands obviously are blowing up, and a lot of artists are getting really popular and getting discovered. So I mean, I think there's been rumors about TikTok starting their own like distribution type service, like a Spotify, Apple Music type situation, and
here we go.
I think that makes sense,
Yeah.
I feel like it just makes way too much sense, and it just came out of, honestly, I think it was completely unintentional by them, because like think about how hard it is for people to discover new music, even if you're in these circles, even if you are actively going to find it. Without TikTok, dude, you get 10-second clips. If you don't like the song, it goes away really quickly. Boom, and you can get new stuff instantly. It's like it just makes way too much sense. It's perfect for music.
That's where a lot of my challenge comes in, because my entire page, dude, you put your beer down and he picked his up at the same time. It looked like you guys passed it. Did
it really? That was like, so unintentional.
Me out for a second. I was like,
dude, I wish.
I thought you guys were in different rooms. Like,
dude, that would be so.
It's an illusion, bro. Like this, it's just a lighting. That's actually a blue wall.
Yeah,
I can't wait to go back.
That's fucking amazing.
I can't wait to go back.
You guys should. You should plan that out in future interviews. Like, do shit. Like, don't tell the guests and like, do.
No, we have to now. That was classic. And before, like, nobody could see me for sure. So like now, like, you know what I mean. Now people can see me.
What I was saying was about like the some of the challenges I faced with like my entire niche is like exposing new bands and like recommending music. Like you were saying, like you only got 10-15 seconds, and sometimes like. The best part of a band's song doesn't even fit into 15 seconds, because like sometimes the hook is like more of like think about like any like I'm trying to think of a good example. The only thing I can think of right now is Death Cab for Cutie, where it's like they don't really have songs where like quick hooks, like with like a few like words. It's usually a long sentence or something, like, or it's like a drawn out. And like so sometimes when like if I'm trying to show a band in a TikTok and really like put a spotlight on them, I have a hard time like really showing the people the best part, and I'd be like, no, but you need to go listen to the whole part, like go listen to the song like on Spotify or something.
It's true.
Like that part is a little challenging.
But yeah, you want them to listen. However, it's really hard to get their attention. And I talked with Zach last week. I think you kind of like mastered the algorithm for TikTok, because I kind of like took into what you were doing recently. For example. Everything that you do is like super incredible. That is just, it hits so well when you first see it come down on your For You page, because it's quick and it's engaging.
Thanks, man.
And you did the it's right here. Oh, New Real Friends sounds sick, by the way.
So good.
I'm so fucking stoked for them, dude. It was the bands that kind of like changed.
They got me taken down from TikTok for a second.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, well, they didn't. I post every Sunday. I do my 5 new songs released this week in a year, and last week I had the Real Friends video in there, and somebody smoking in that music video, and the video had the TikTok had like 20,000 views, and then TikTok took it down because they're like, oh, this violates community guideline. I'm like, dude, it's a music video. Like, they're not even. It's in the background. Somebody's smoking. Like, I still have the appeal submitted, so we'll see if it comes through.
They've been pretty well with that. I got flagged. I compared A Day to Remember's one of their new recent singles, A Chance to Dance, to Gideon's Cursed. Dude, it literally sounds like the same intro, but in a different key.
I didn't even notice that.
Their album artwork is like a kid with a blindfold over his head. That was a community guideline. I was like, no, it's the album artwork. I swear to God.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
And they gave me my video back within an hour. I was like, oh, thank God. Yeah. I was waiting to get straight.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. So basically, you did a bands that changed genres throughout the time.
Oh yeah.
And dude, the clips were so quick, and they hit big, like 1.2 million overnight. Like, you wake up, have another 100,000 followers. That's pretty. I think that's what the algorithm kind of feeds for, because as these people are engaging on your content, even they don't even know it because they're in the comments, like, and going through it. They've already watched that video 4 times probably. So, yeah,
that's the big thing, because the rewatch factor is huge. That's one of the most important signs to TikTok that the video is doing well. And yeah, I mean, the second one I did of that series is like at 12 million views, or it might be over that now. Right. With it was just Panic at the Disco, and like I said, it was super quick, and I intentionally made it because the other thing was I was trying to like think of ideas of things I could do on TikTok to up my content, the amount of content I'm putting out there. But like, again, I'm a full-time dad. I can't sit around making TikToks all day long, so I had to think of like quicker video ideas, and that's when I came up with that one. And yeah, dude, so many people are commenting on those videos like, oh, TikTok has a 3-minute upload limit now. Like, oh, you can't play more than 0.0 seconds of the song. Like, dude, I can't even count how many comments or people just giving me shit because I didn't make the videos longer. And I don't want to put my secret sauce out there, but I just want to be like, you guys do know this video got 12 million views because it's short. Like, if this was a 3-minute video, it would not have 12 million views, man.
Yeah. I gave it a test run. I did bands that are underrated, and I put up Dayseeker. Dude, like 25,000 likes, 200, almost 300,000 plays. I'm like, it's the rewatch time. Yeah. It's the rewatch time. So that's a huge factor. People have to take that into consideration when they're trying to promote themselves on TikTok. Like, with bands, it's different. Like, with us, you and I, because like you're basically the emo influencer of TikTok right now. So it's like, like the next Carson Daly kind of thing. So it's like, they have to like, kinda, you know what I mean? It's kind of, dude, it's so fucking rad. You're just edgier than Carson, and they have to like do the trends and be creative. Like Airs in Action does it. Magnolia Park. Action Adventure. So, and I see a lot of bands that are starting to get into it, and dude, it's very beneficial to helping them further their success. Well,
that's the thing too, is like there's so many bands out there now taking advantage of social media in general, but especially TikTok, and like a lot of bands, like, I mean, I think a lot of bands are starting to come around to it more because it is becoming such a culturally relevant mainstream thing. But I mean, there's still so many bands like, that's for kids, they don't give a shit about it. And it's like they're missing out on such a gold mine of promotional opportunity. And I saw something on Facebook post this the other day. I wish I knew their names so I could shout them out because it's so fucking true. But they were like, all you bands out there complaining that you don't want to be on social media and you don't want to take time to create content, and like you're in the music business or you're in the band because you just want to make music. Like, how about we drop you back in 1984 and you can stand in front of a record label building, handing out demos to every person in a tie that walks by, and hope that summer gives you a chance. Like you have no fucking clue how easy you have it.
It's so true though.
It's so true. Yeah. It's so true.
Like, I mean, creating spending an hour, piecing together clips and dancing on TikTok or making a story up on TikTok might sound fucking lame or might sound, time consuming or something. But yeah, like I'd rather do that than go stand in the mall for 3 hours passing out demos to like every little kid in a Hot Topic shirt, like hoping somebody digs it, like.
And hoping Hot Topic will give you a chance to do an acoustic set in their store. Like,
I did that, dude.
Did you really?
I did that back in the day. Yeah.
You were in a band for how long? You were singing in a band for like how long? Like a few years or something?
So I played most music most of my life. But yeah, I was in this punk band for about 7 years. Yeah, we kind of sounded like, we were kind of like more like the Offspring kind of punk, like a little bit more of like the, like we were definitely poppy, but we weren't like Blink-182. I think we were just like more like the punkier side of pop punk, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's.
But I mean, we actually played with we actually played with the Offspring before. Yeah, kind of Green Day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We were like kind of skate punk, I guess is the best way to put it. But like we just weren't as. We always hit a weird dynamic where like we weren't punky enough for the punk kids. And we weren't poppy enough for the pop punk kids. So I think that's why we never fucking made it,
Dude, you're trying your best, dude. I mean,
you know what? I'm like so excited to see, like, especially because like a lot of our friends, and I bet you a lot of your friends, obviously, that you've met just through doing promotional stuff for them on TikTok. Now that like shows are gonna get back out there, at the beginning of quarantine, the beginning of the pandemic, TikTok was one thing, and it's morphed into this powerhouse, especially for music, like we just talked about. This is going to be really the first time that bands that are going to go on tour are going to see the payoff of exposing themselves to new fans. And it realistically hasn't happened yet. And it's going to be so wild to see, especially for you guys, to see where it takes you in terms of the opportunities that it's going to provide. It's going to be insane.
Well, that was a big thing for me when, shows started happening again or being announced again, because obviously the part of me was super excited just at the idea of going to shows again. But there's this whole nother level of like you said, like for the first time in my life as a content creator, I can go to shows now. and that's a whole new level of like amount of content that I'll have to create and new like opportunities to like, get in contact with these bands live and actually see them live instead of doing like Skype and Zoom and all that stuff, and actually, have those interactions and create content around that. Because I mean, obviously I've been playing music all my life and I've been doing creative stuff in my life, but I've never really considered myself like a content creator, influencer, whatever you want to call it, until TikTok started, and I didn't start that until quarantine. So like, you still never even had the opportunity,
You just
which is what most people got on. So
you just thought one day like you were gonna do TikTok, like you were like, you know what, I'm just gonna give this a shot.
I knew that I saw the rumblings in like late 2019. I guess it was probably like November, October 2019. Like that's when like I started noticing a lot of like hip hop artists and pop artists like blowing up because of TikTok, and it was still this kind of a obscure thing for people in our genre and age group and demographic. There was like, it was kind of like, that's for kids, but I saw artists blowing up on it, and like something that I've always taken to heart is like you should never disregard something that's blowing up because you don't understand it, because it's not like in your wheelhouse, because like eventually it's going to probably get into your wheelhouse. And like I just saw the opportunity there for like the scene bands, like the Warped Tour crowd, and the alternative music. Like I had a feeling that it was eventually going to bleed over to that, and like I just basically wanted to get on it early. And I got on there, and like first couple months, like it was all weird dancing and like like weird trends and shit like that. And I was like, I just watched videos for like a couple months before I even made anything. So I'm like, how do I like make stuff for bands on it? Like I couldn't figure it out initially, like, and then the only thing that I finally just started making videos, and then I kind of got into rhythm and figure out what worked and what didn't work. Like that's the biggest thing I could say for anyone that wants to create content, just create a fuck ton of it as much as you can, and then you'll eventually figure out what works and what doesn't, because in the beginning no one's watching anyway, so who cares if it sucks.
That's true. That's true. You figured out your niche very early on, I would feel like.
Yeah, well, and see, that's the thing too, is like I feel like I definitely could have, because I love indie music, and I love hip hop, And I mean, there's a lot of pop I listen to too. Like I feel like I could have definitely gone that route and gone into like the more of the indie, like bedroom pop kind of stuff, and probably have flourished a lot faster, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe I would have been like a small fish in a big pond because there's already people doing that. Who knows, you know? But like, I mean, my core is core, you know, hardcore, metalcore, whatever, post-hardcore, you know? So it's
good.
like,
I like that.
I love pop punk and, you know, and everything that falls under that Warped Tour scene umbrella. So like, I don't know, I just kind of like stuck with that. Like I do a lot of videos with like, I still do like some indie stuff, and like, I don't do any hip hop just because like I really don't think my audience will get on it. Like, I mean, I do some like the alternative hip hop stuff, like, you know, and kind of like more of like emo rap shit, I guess. And like anything, obviously there's a lot of like the newer punk artists that have a lot of the hip hop influence as well to them. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, it falls under the subculture is my demo. And that's what kind of why, yeah, like you said, I started with that and I just kind of dug my heels in and hoped it worked.
Yeah, but it's working. Dude, and like that makes sense too, because like you already know what your audience is. So collectively, why are you gonna make content that if they're not gonna engage in it, unfortunately, you wish you would love for them to engage. Like I get it, but that's just how the algorithm works. It's just not gonna go anywhere. It's like, oh, you take a lot of time and effort and credibility into making those videos, and it's like if it doesn't hit, like it's not the most disappointing thing in the world, but it's like you just want the audience to kind of boost it. I don't think the audience realizes yet.
Yeah.
Like, I think once the industry, like as fans, as music lovers in itself, like once we wake up and find out that all we have to do, like when we start, like when you're posting stuff or I'm posting stuff or other people who are doing this kind of thing are posting stuff, like especially if it's like underground bands, just engage on purpose to see if other people will like it. You know what I mean? Because that's what feeds the algorithm.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge thing. It's like just like building that community of, you know, your followers, and like not just like posting and ghosting and like, you know, just like hoping for the best or whatever, actually like engaging with people and like, yeah, building up like a community. I think that's because like that's what, you know, the subculture, the scene, or whatever you want to call it, is all about. It's all about community. I mean, that's why that music is what it is. Like that's why it's not considered as disposable as pop music, because it's a culture around it, you know. And so like people, I feel like in that scene are way more sensitive to bullshit and sniff out like people way quicker. So it's like, you know, you can't really just put shit up if you don't believe in it. Like you can post about pop music and hip hop and probably get away with not actually caring about the music. Maybe, I don't know, but
maybe they love.
But I feel like you can't do that. Yeah, with pop punk and metalcore, especially metalcore, man. Like that audience is like some of the more metalcore and deathcore kids are some of the most fierce shit. Cause like I love that stuff, but like if I called a band by the wrong genre in that area, like I get beat up on so bad.
Yeah.
I got shit for saying metalcore early years, and I was like basically doing like the scene metalcore, like Asking Alexandria, like the final episode shit, like Chiodos, whatever, like early 2000s. They're like, oh, how cute, this kid thinks that's early metalcore. I'm like, guys, come on, man. I'm just trying to fucking talk to my crowd. I'm trying to talk to my audience. You know what I mean?
Dude,
like, I never post about that kind of stuff anymore. You know what I mean?
No, dude, I feel you. Like I posted a video one time about Bring Me the Horizon, and like I did I know that they used to be a deathcore band in like 2013 or whatever it was, you know. Or actually I think it was probably even before that, but I posted the fucking, oh my god, it's gonna drive me crazy now. I can't remember the name of the song.
They changed genres.
Sleepwalking, that song.
Okay.
And I called it Old Bring Me the Horizon, and dude, everybody, shit, that's not fucking old, really. Yeah, like first of all, that song's 8 years old, so technically it's an old song.
Bro,
like,
I'm sorry. A decade.
I'm sorry, it's not the oldest song they ever put out, but it's older. Like, dude, I was trying to promote a new band on there, like a new artist, and I was like, if you like this old Bring Me the Horizon stuff, you're gonna love this guy. And dude, it was like the video blew up, and it was just like 2,000 comments of people calling me an idiot and telling me that's not old Bring Me the Horizon. And meanwhile, I'm like, that's cool, but can you check out this artist? Because that's the point of it. like And the art, I feel so bad for the artist too, because like he was like so excited about the video, and he commented, he's like, "Oh my god, thank you so much for posting about me." And then all the comments were just about this not being old preemie, and he's just like, "All right, well, thanks for checking me out, I guess, guys." Like,
I'll see myself out.
But to be honest, I've gotten hate on that kind of stuff too, but it fuels the video.
Yeah.
Because the more they engage with it, the more it pushes it. But,
like I never take that shit personally. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Like, I mean, like people are, I mean, it's you gotta have a thick skin to be on the internet in general.
Right.
Like,
people are just people can be really nasty, man, for no reason.
Yeah. It's like the default like mechanism in people a lot of times, just to be negative and like just to be an asshole. Like, I don't know what it is. Like there's like a lot of people that just always like, believe the worst in everyone until proven otherwise. And like that's an unfortunate way to live. Like,
especially when you're anonymous and you can say whatever you want without any repercussion. That's fucked up.
That's a big thing, dude. A lot of people are too comfortable with the fact that they, I don't know where they live, or I don't know what their names are.
Right? Your IP address, I'll come to your house, motherfucker.
Yeah, and it's like not like I would do anything anyway, but it's like I know that person would be saying that shit if they ran into me at the mall or something.
Where do you think, like, what for? I guess really for both your perspectives, because you guys obviously you're kind of in the same lane. Where do you think? I mean, looking back at a year ago, I don't think we would have thought we'd be in this position, especially you two being where you're at, and kind of like you guys are like the Mount Rushmore of honestly, like specifically for the musical genres that you guys represent. You're the face of that for TikTok right now. What do you think is the next steps now that we're kind of going into another phase of it? What do you guys project it going to be?
Do you want to start, George?
Yeah, sure. What it could be is an opportunity for these underground bands to really make a significant staple. Like, building your brand. This is the perfect app to honestly, if you're an underground artist, because I'm just looking at like a lot of bands that are taking advantage of it. This can actually mold their career early on. It's like how the industry has evolved over the years. Especially with TikTok doing a distribution thing, it sounds like, Jesse, that you were saying earlier, which is pretty incredible. Hopefully they pay these artists, as unfortunately, some other streaming platforms. But it used to be in the 90s when you grind your face into a concrete wall and you play shows after show after show and you tour and tour and tour. Then you had to be popular on social media. Then you had to have Spotify numbers, which is why I do mostly exclusive stuff on Spotify, because it's like I want these underground bands to have numbers to help promoters, booking agents really get an idea of, oh, like people listen to this music. That's great. Let's give them a chance. Now it's TikTok. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I definitely think that this is going to be the present way of promoting yourself and really making like some kind of like foundation with your brand, especially if you're underground. It's mostly beneficial for the underground than the bands that are already accomplished. For sure, but like, who am I with 70? I'm like Guy Fieri. Like, who the fuck is Guy Fieri? Like, he just talks about people all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a guy with a mustache. Used to have a beard. And I talk about underground bands. You know what I mean? So
that's all the qualifications you need, man. Like,
I guess so, mustache, I look like the Pringle guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I love it, man. It's dope, dude. I'm glad you grew it out. Looks great.
I had to shit off my job. But.
I know. I saw you rocking the masks in a lot of videos, and I'm like, he's working on something. I bet. Like, he's got something coming out.
Oh my god, he looked like a baby when he shaved his beard for a while.
Yeah,
baby egg.
I like it. Yeah, that's a good point too. What you brought up is like, I feel like the app definitely caters a lot to the underground emerging bands, as opposed to like the legacy, like not even legacy bands, but like the bigger bands that are. It's hard to explain. So like Mayday Parade and All Time Low and shit will do well on that app, and like really smaller like emerging bands will do well on that because they'll create content and will grab people's attention. I think it's harder to get those like more middle of the road, still super well known, but not like globally known bands to like really take off on there, because like unless they're creating great content, because like I said, like All Time Low can just post a music video and people are like, oh my god, I'm fucking All Time Low music. Like, and a smaller band might take more time and create something more compelling and more of a some kind of content that engages people and slip in their music, you know. And then I feel like those middle of the road bands who, like I said, are well known but not household names, unless they're creating something really great, they can't really just get away with just posting like a music video on there or something like that. I think that's where there's gonna be like some of those bands might end up getting swallowed up on there. And I can't even think of a great example right now. Probably could, but then I'd be shitting on somebody inadvertently. But yeah, as far as like where I see it going too, like I think it's like, unfortunately, it's like every other social media app, you know, eventually the organic reach is going to die. It's going to pass away and go to bed, you know, and they're going to be dead and buried. And, you know, it's all going to be advertising. Every third video you see is going to be an ad, unfortunately. And we'll be on to the next, you know. But like, let's just hope that, you know, people like you and I will build up our following enough that like we can transfer it over to the next, like the Choco Fucker app or whatever the fuck the next thing is going to be that, you know, people are on. Like, I mean, that's why, like, I know you got obviously the podcast going, and like I'm trying to, I've got my podcast, you know, going. I've got a newsletter going as well. And like, I'm always trying to create more avenues for getting my content to people directly, so that when one platform dies out, we can just hop back over to this one, you know, which is kind of cool to see Instagram. Like I said before, how the reels are taking off and like my following's grown. Dude, I've been on Instagram, man, I don't know, 7 years or something like that at this point. And like just in the last like couple months, all of a sudden I have like a bunch of followers coming in and like, you know, I'm getting views and shit. It's like, it's cool to see an app like that kind of be revitalized and stuff. So it's like, maybe I'll move back over to focus more on Instagram. Who knows? You know,
right?
like
who knows? Yeah, you don't know.
We'll see.
Like,
I mean, right now I'm gonna ride this wave as much as possible, as I know, like you are too. Like, we're just gonna try for the best and hope it doesn't go away anytime soon. Because it's fun too. At the end of the day, like it's so great to be able to put out content about music you're super passionate about, and find millions of other people in that same boat and to fuck with it, and then also boost up your fucking your clout or whatever on that topic. Like it's all nice. It's all cool.
Do you like have any you have any idea what you're gonna like do in terms of what you're gonna do? Obviously we were talking about like live shows coming back and stuff. Obviously, do you have any plans on like extending your reach in terms of content in the live setting too?
Yeah. So I've actually been thinking a lot about that, like how I want to go about it. Because like I definitely want to start developing some kind of like super well-rounded promotional thing for a concert, like because I do have the podcast and the newsletter and stuff like that. I kind of want to like if there's a big festival or something like that, I would love to be like, you know, like there's lots of like festivals where like they have a person on scene interviewing the bands and stuff like that. It's like, you know, like here's Joey Mack on the scene talking to Pierce Avail or something, like whatever, you know. Right. Like I don't know, like I don't want to be like the next Brian Stars or anything like that, but like, you know, something along those lines would be cool. And to be like the guy for like, you know, Aftershock Festival or something like that, like that'd be fucking dope. But yeah, as far as like I don't know exactly. I mean, I have some ideas. I don't really want to give it away yet. Spoil the surprise. Yeah. I do have some ideas of like things I definitely want to do for the shows and after shows and to build up to them and stuff. But yeah, it's going to be, again, it's going to be all new, you know, starting from scratch essentially with that, because we haven't done shows yet. So, and there's no archetype really. I mean, there's no other, like a lot of times I'm like on TikTok and stuff, if you're looking to create a type of content, you can kind of like look at what other influencers are doing for inspiration. Like, okay, that video worked for them. I could do that in this style, you know? But as far as like live show coverage, there's nothing out there. As far as I know, like, unless you can go find creators who were on the app in 2019 posting shit. But I mean, that content's probably not going to work in 2021 anyway.
No, so it was a completely different playing field back then.
Yeah, exactly.
Courtney from Spirit Box tweeted, she's like, is it ever going to get to a point where like we're just going to interview bands like it's like a fucking sports interview after they're done playing a show? Like, do you feel like that was one of your better performances than when you were in Ohio yesterday on tour? Like, how do you feel? Was your tuning more in key this time around? I mean, it seemed like a little lanky. Like, it was so funny how she kind of like brought that.
That's such a
like, imagine like we had our music industry like kind of being talked about. Like we have fucking music panels and commentators.
Oh yeah, dude, it should be. Yeah.
Like, look, Courtney's about to go back.
Courtney's what the fuck? She's great, man. She's gonna be a star for sure. I mean, she's already pretty well known, but I think she's gonna be like the face in like 2021 as far as like that heavier genre of music. But like it's weird, like Spirit Box, I thought they were just like a straight up like metal band, like a really hardcore band or whatever. Not hardcore, but like just like a heavy band because of like Holy Roller, you know? And then like all the stuff that they've been dropping since has been very melodic and like a lot of singing and like catchy shit. You know, like I read an interview with her where she's like, I don't know how people are gonna react to our full album because like we put all these like singles and like I think they expect to hear something and they're not gonna really, they're gonna be like kind of thrown off when they hear like the whole package. But I think that's kind of cool because like I said, I was into her. I was into their music a little bit when they released Holy Roller. I was like, that's good, Jay, I get it, you know. But then when they started dropping like Circle with Me and that last one, what was that fucking the last one that dropped was really fucking good.
I think it was Garden.
Yeah. Garden State or Garden Secret Garden.
Secret Garden.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Dude, Garden State would be that would be such a disappointing song if it was called Garden State.
For
yeah. Like she's like a person of interest. Like she's like a not like a celebrity, but like I'm trying to get a good word for her. Like she is, you know,
she's compelling. I mean,
yeah,
like she draws you in too.
Oops, sorry. Yeah, and like that's what we were talking about. Like, well, like where's it gonna go as far as like the bands and stuff? I feel like there's gonna be more of an emphasis on that kind of stuff going forward. Like your band is going to be more about like the individual personalities. Like you need to have a personality in the band, at least somebody has to have something. Because like I talked about this on another podcast where it's like you want to follow people on social media because you want those personal stories, you want the personality. Like if you follow like a band on social media, you're probably just getting like some studio stuff or like maybe some like, hey, check out our albums on iTunes now, or like, hey, we drop some merch, go check out the store. You know, you're not getting like, oh, dude, I just fucking woke up at 4 a.m. and found my dog shit all over the floor. Like, what does anyone know how to clean this up? You know, like weird stuff like that.
That's so crazy. And dude, and for going back to like the TikTok stuff and everything, because like this is definitely revolutionary for this industry. It's crazy how much opportunities that have been brought to you, especially with the podcast. It's exclusively on Spotify, Distorted 10, and it's incredible. And you know, Shane told us your first guest for a curator and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, it's super rad. But the thing is, like, did you already initially have a podcast envisioned, and like did Spotify reach out to you? Because it is exclusive, so it seems like you partnered with Spotify.
So no, it's actually not a partnership with them technically. It's just I do it through their Anchor platform, which is like exclusively hosted through Spotify because like that's why I'm able to use the music on there as well and everything. Yeah, so it's like basically if you go through,
it's pretty fucking cool, dude. Like
yeah. If you go check out Anchor FM, I should be getting paid for this shout out, but if you go check out
you should be sponsored at this point, dude. Like
yeah. Well, it's funny because like that's another thing too about Anchor is like they really do help you find sponsors and stuff, and they can help you out with like you know, monetizing your podcast. And there's just a lot. My podcast is tough because I play music on it, and there's so many gray areas with payola and all that bullshit and like buying streams and stuff and like advertising. That it makes it really hard to monetize something like that. So like I kind of fucked myself in that realm as far as if I want to like really make money off it. Yeah. But the most important part about the podcast is just, you know, getting the music out there really and promoting the overall brand. So like I'm not like if you listen to my podcast, you'll notice like there's no like sponsorships, there's no like ads or anything like that. I'm not saying that there never will be, of course, but I mean at the moment it's all about, you know, music. And I mean it's because it's really more of a radio show, I guess, than a podcast. Like I always tell people, it's like a playlist with commentary, essentially. Yeah, you know, it's just
that's kind of what like Lars Ulrich does on his. Where he has like he has like the artists come on and they'll talk. Usually, it's like with an album release. Like I know specifically, like the two that stick out were with Maynard James Keenan and Dave Grohl when they were releasing albums, and they would essentially
just those guys.
I don't know why that like sticks out. Rock, yeah, right. But they'll talk about like the writing process and the studio process and other bullshit. But like it meshed into the conversation, they'll play like an excerpt of the track from the new album and they'll talk about it.
Yeah. That's where like because like I super am impressed by you guys doing this as religiously as you do, because like I know how time consuming this shit can be, and like that's like why I didn't want to go the route of interviewing people, just because like I knew like I could never carve out, like, dude, just like I said, like we talked about before, like to get me on this podcast was a fucking challenge, you know, to like try to carve out like an hour or two every week to talk to people. Like I knew it wasn't gonna be in my wheelhouse at the moment, so that's why I kind of went the route of like having the artists record stuff themselves, send it to me, we'll splice it in, we'll make it, you know, like you're hosting the show with me essentially, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, more power to you guys keeping this going, man. That's super impressive.
We really appreciate it. I mean, like we've had a couple emails where for months at a time we have to schedule in advance, and then it usually comes down to the last minute. Like Zach, I think Billy and Tomo, like he booked them himself, and it took what was like a 2-month process, I think, something like that.
For Billy Sheehan, we were hitting each other up since September, and we didn't get him on until February. So, and that was kind of, and that was within like he gave me a day, and like he's super busy. Like I totally get it. Don't hold it against him at all. And plus he was super awesome to talk to. He was a hero of mine. But like having him in there, he was very quick with his emails, because he's kind of like that older generation, obviously, and kind of what you were talking about, and like engaging with your fans. For somebody like him, he engages with everybody, and we talked about that with him. Like he's not on TikTok. He doesn't have to be on TikTok. He's Billy friggin' Sheehan. He doesn't have to do shit. But dude, he goes out of his way to interact with all his fans, and the way he had that as his perspective was really cool. He said that it's like him being at a bar gig and him getting off the stage and sharing a beer with his fans after the show. Like that's such a good way of looking at it. But those guys like him and Tomo, as big as they are to sacrifice time to come on something that's not proven at all for us, dude, like that meant the world. And that's kind of like the most refreshing thing, is that people are willing to take chances on the little guys still, because those guys don't have to do any of that shit.
Correct.
And man, 2 of the best experiences ever, man. They were so cool.
I mean, like I'm sure you guys have noticed this with as far as like reaching out to guests and stuff. It's pretty crazy how receptive like some of the people that you think would be unattainable will be to wanting to like just talk to you about their music. Like there's a lot of times where it's like where somebody's like, oh, I loved it. Like I had Kellen Quinn reach out to me to be on my podcast. You know, I'm like, wait,
that's crazy.
That's awesome.
He's like, yeah. He just DM'd me and said, yo, let me get on that podcast. I'm like, fuck yeah, you can.
Let's
like,
go.
You had Kellen Quinn on? You had Chad on?
Because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, they're people, man. They just want to like talk about their music, and they just want to, you know, obviously they all have stuff they need to promote, and you know, if you're a good person and you're, you know, showing, you know, the music to a whole new audience for them, and you're not like charging them for like what do they have to lose really other than their time? So
yo, how hard does We Were Sharks fuck? How hard do they fuck? Because they're incredible.
What's up?
How hard does We Were Sharks fuck? Because I think they fuck so hard.
Oh yeah,
that they should be literally mainstream by now. That was my first tour, was with We Were Sharks. And when I saw Randy was on the fucking podcast, I was like, my worlds are colliding, dude. Like this is so weird. Like, love them.
Yeah, We Were Sharks fucks. They fuck hard.
They fuck so hard, dude. Will's always horny. The drummer, he's always horny. Will, if you're listening, dude, I'm sure you're still up to something. So relax. Yeah, no, it's crazy because like, but all in retrospect, the opportunity for TikTok, or the opportunities that have come from TikTok is just gonna keep fueling not only you but others who really engage on this app that kind of create that niche. Because this, you know, the things evolve, the industry evolves, and we tend to adapt in something, like you said, until it gets put to rest and dies and something else new comes on. What do you think the biggest advice would be for these underground bands from your perspective? Because I'm sure you take into consideration with submissions. Also, before we get into that, how do people get a hold of you for submission? For
fucking every way possible, man. Like
DM.
Dude, I've literally had bands call me at 3:00 in the morning. I'm like, hey man, did you get my track I sent you on submission? Like, leave me voicemails and shit, dude.
Dog, I'm sleeping.
I feel bad because like I I used to always be the type of person that's like, no, you answer every email you get, every DM you get. Like, you know, like there's no reason, no one's too busy to answer shit. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, people are, yeah, I get it now. Like, dude, I literally get like hundreds of submissions. So I have a form or Google form set up. And that's where I direct everyone to try to filter stuff. But I still get hundreds of DMs, emails, text messages, tagged in shit. To like, I'll get tagged in a photo, like, yo, can you check this out for me real quick? Check out this, or check out this video and tell me what you think. like, dude, like just hundreds a week, and like, I'm not trying to say that to be like, oh, I'm so fucking cool, like, you know. But,
no, you're not.
That's just like,
but it's real, dude. Like
that's real. It's like it's not cool. It's kind of shit. Like I'm super I'm super grateful that people think my opinion matters. They want me to hear their music, but like, dude, it gets so overwhelming, and like people get shitty if you don't respond in a timely fashion, and I get it too. Like if someone sends me 2 or 3 messages and I say I'll check it out, and then they're like, oh, did you check it out? I'm like, I did not check it. You know, it's like,
I'll get back to you next week.
Yeah, I feel bad, but it's like, dude, like I really wish I could just sit around all day listening to submissions. I wish like that was my whole. I wish I got paid to listen to submissions, because then I would fucking do it. But like, unfortunately, that's not how it works. And like, I can't sit there for 8 hours a day listening to underground band. It'd be cool. I'd be down with it if I could, but I can't.
Seriously, because we start getting these flow submissions too, and like we're not at that level of exhaustion, but eventually it's gonna get like that. You know what I mean? Like, and there's 2 of us, so that's not fair. But
well, I had some playlists back in the day, and I get submissions for them, and like it was starting to get like a little overwhelming in the amount of like submissions I was getting. And then once I started on TikTok, dude, it just got like unreal, man. Like you know, like on when you go to Instagram, it has like the DM thing. It like stops counting the DMs at that 99 plus. Like, dude, it's always fucking like, without a doubt, it says 9. And like, again, not trying to sound cool, but it's always, I could just like, I scroll through, I say, hey, I see the first sentence of every message, you know, and it all starts off like, yo, love the playlist. Hey, would you check out? Hey, yeah, love the it's like, I'm just scrolling through, like making sure I'm not missing any like messages from somebody that actually wants to talk to me, you know, because then I want to make sure. Dude, it's. Again, I feel like such an asshole saying it, because it sounds like I'm trying to be like, everyone wants to talk to me, but it's just, it's overwhelming, man. Like because I got bands want to get noticed any way possible, and I get it, man. Like, because a lot of bands reach out to me, they don't even give a fuck about the playlist or who I am or my TikTok. Like, they just like they saw that they saw a playlist with 15,000 followers on it. They Googled the name, found me, and sent me a message. They didn't listen to it, you know, and I get that too, you know. But then there's a fuck ton of bands that legitimately are like, oh my God, I love, you know, your TikToks, they brighten my day or whatever it is, you know. And but it's like it's hard to even prioritize like who to answer at that point, because like once you said, once you get so many, it gets kind of
seriously
hard to differentiate.
What would be your best advice for bands that not only want to get your attention, to grab your attention, but that could also take advantage of it within this platform of TikTok, because right now it's hot? Like, what would you think your biggest advice would be for these bands?
So, I mean, if you're reaching out to somebody to get your music heard, like, you have to be concise. Like, you have to give them enough information, but you can't overload them at the same time. And it can be a weird balance to strike. But, like, you got to be direct, first of all. Like, when someone says, yo, can you check out my song? It's like, cool. What do you want me to do with that? Like, I checked it out. Sounds good. Like, what's the next step here? Like, you know, it's like, you gotta be direct. You gotta hit somebody up like, hey, I love your playlist. I have this track. It's called The Bumblefuckers from Easttown, and it sounds like Neck Deep and Knuckle Puck. I think it'd be a great fit for your playlist. Can you check it out and add it? That's 2 or 3 sentences right there. It might even fit in a little preview window, so I know what I'm getting before I even open it. You know?
Yeah.
Like, and for the love of God, include, if you're pitching for a playlist, include the Spotify link to your track, man. I cannot tell you how many times somebody pitches to my playlist and they'll send me a SoundCloud link or a YouTube link. I'm like, that's cool. I can't add that to a playlist though. So if you have if the song's on Spotify, like, or they'll send me like the like, yo, can you check out my band? And they'll send me just their artist profile on Spotify. It's like, okay, like you want me to just listen to all your songs? Like which song you want me to hear? Because like it's the same when you're submitting a demo to a record label back in the day. Like you didn't send them like your whole album. You sent them like 3 songs. Like these are our 3 best songs. You know, it's kind of like that situation. You kind of have to like prioritize because people again are busy. You have to like be super concise, super direct, and include the right fucking links in your messages. And I think that's like the best way to go about it. And like also if somebody makes it like abundantly clear this is how they prefer to be pitched, like in a certain like I only want email pitches. Don't like follow up on like Facebook Messenger and like, yo, did you get my pitch? Like, no, motherfucker. Like, hit me up on email, you know, or who, like whatever that the person's like thing is, you know.
Right. No, that's good though, because honestly, like, and they have to understand too that like be patient because everybody has their own busy lives, and it's just and it's already enough to understand that people can just get busy. And then on the side factor of it too, like you're gonna get a lot of no's in this industry. I've gotten no's for all over the years. I'm sure you've gotten plenty of no's all over the years, and like you just gotta keep pushing. Like if I don't put you on a playlist that I curate or a playlist that you curate, that you don't put them on a playlist that you curate, like it's okay. Like maybe it's not, you know, just try to do your best and think like what could I do better to get their attention next time? That's all. Like especially if they didn't come around the first time. So
yeah, and like I don't want to come across like a crotchety like fucking corporate bean counter or something like that. Like I get it, man. I get the plight of a struggling musician because I was a struggling musician for a lot of years. Like I understand it, man. Like you know it too. Like it's like we get the hustle, like, but it's like I also was never an asshole with my hustle, you know. I tried. I mean, maybe I was. I probably was an asshole, but I tried not to be, you know, or at least I try to learn from it, you know. So I was like, I feel like there's so much information out there online as how to promote yourself that like when people go the lazy route and literally send me, they don't even say anything when they send me like a SoundCloud link with no text or message with it. It's like, okay, cool. Like, what do you want me to do with it? Like that's. It's like, come on, man, just try a little bit. Like,
there's nothing you can do with it. Yeah, and they have to understand that too. But in all retrospect, we're gonna wrap this up in a little bit, dude. You should. Do you drink like craft beer in a sense? Because we do a segment where we drink beer. So if you're interested, like when you have a day off, you can like relax, kind of get a a little buzz. Like we'll have.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, like if you want
I love it, dude. Yeah,
just letting you know.
I would love to. Yeah, I used to work at a craft brewery. I fucking love craft beer. Yeah, I don't drink it as much since I like have so much shit to do. I can't really like because you drink a few of those, like you're not really functional the next day.
Like you're out for the count.
Yeah, my hangovers are a fucking multi-day ordeal now. It used to be like I drink and get the next morning. Yeah, dude. I used to get up and be like, all right, let's go. Like now I'm like, I'm gonna need a minute. Like
but, a minute, I'm gonna need 2 days. Thank you.
yeah, exactly. But no, I'm down, dude. That sounds great.
Yeah, you and I will have to collab, and Zach will all have to collaborate on like which artists we want to bring on, and just like just drink beer.
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool. That'll be a pretty cool dynamic. A little bit different.
Dude, it's such an honor to have you on. It's crazy how fucking, how much success has been coming your way with all the content you've been putting out there. It's super incredible, dude. And I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time because that means a lot to me. It means a lot to Zach, I'm sure. And like, dude, like this was super exciting. I wanted to talk to. It's nice to finally meet someone who we can like really bump heads and understand the same industry together. Because usually when we have guests on, like they're successful artists, dude. Like I know the ins and outs. I just want to get to know them more personally. We have like a little bit more in common than most of those guests. So it's super cool to have you on. But it's a privilege and an honor. It's really cool to have you on, dude.
Yeah. Appreciate you having me on again. Like we were able to work this out. Sorry, there's so much back and forth, man. But I'm super glad I was able to come on.
All right, so I stopped the podcast a little early, but we want to kind of go back and talk about this. So, anyways, dude, fucking, when I joined TikTok, I joined a little late. You know what I'm saying? But I do remember seeing this like group of collective people together, and you were in that collective group. Like, what was that? What happened? Because I know there's Mosh Talk that's happening right now, and that's kind of cool. There's like 4 collective individuals doing that. Weren't you a part of one of those kind of groups? And like, what happened to it?
Yeah. So, when I first got on, like we had talked about before, like, there wasn't a lot of like the scene subculture creators on there. And, I found a couple people in that wheelhouse, like, Dakota, he goes by Trash Mouth on there. There was this dude, he went under Pool Stick Guitar, and he did a lot of like emo pop punk songs, and he just like played them with the pool stick and stuff. Oh, cool. And there was he has some funny stuff. He made some really great content, and then he got burned out and quit TikTok. He got burned out because of this story that I'm about to tell you. But so like I got together with a couple of dudes and then some gals and stuff, and we ended up putting together Punk Talkers, which was like basically like a hype house but for pop punk and emo music essentially, And it was like one account that we all posted. We made videos specifically for those for that account, so like we weren't like resharing old videos or anything. We were making new content for this, and it built up pretty fast. Like we had like 8 members and like almost 200,000 followers in like just a few months, and it was pretty awesome, man. Like we were getting like a lot of record labels hitting us up, like wanting to do like some promotional campaigns with us and stuff, and like, we were like looking at like summer 2021, like what we were going to do as far as like we're getting on like some tours, like doing some sponsored deals and stuff, maybe like being like my digital escape. I don't know if you remember that YouTube thing back in the day with like Brian Stars. Yeah. We were basically gonna be like a less toxic version of that would be like on tours and stuff.
And all of it.
Yeah, and like it was going well. And then I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but there was one member who he basically thought it was his group. I don't know like where he kind of where that came from, but like, he became like. He started like making a lot of like, it wasn't like we were having conversations anymore in the group chat. It was more like directions from this person, like telling us like what we were going to be doing and how we were going to do things from now on and everything, really trying to spearhead everything. And which was fine because like I was so busy with the stuff I had going on. Like I think any kind of group kind of does need one person to kind of direct things, because like it makes it easier instead of everyone kind of like running around with their heads cut off, like having one person kind of direct things. But this person was never like voted into that.
I was gonna say, shouldn't it be a democracy where you kind of like vote the captain of the team? Like, come on.
Yes. Like, so under some circumstances, I think it's good, but this situation was not. So yeah, that person started doing some unquestionable things, and then they actually ended up kicking a member out without consulting anyone else. Just completely deleted them out of the group chat, changed the login information, like basically just kicked them out of the group completely. We didn't even know until the person reached out to us, like, hey, I can't log into anything, what's going on? And we reached out in the group chat, like, why is she not in here? And the person's like, I kicked them out. They're not, basically they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. She's not creating enough content for the group.
They fired them. That's what they did.
Yeah, they fired a free.
Who gets the right to fire
exactly.
people?
Exactly.
Are you paying her bills, bro? Come on. Dude.
Yeah, it was unreal. We were all like, that's pretty fucked up, man. Like I don't think that's not cool, And like we were kind of like having a conversation about it, like because it was weird. We like understood parts of where he was coming from on this situation, but like, you can't just do that. You can't just like kick people out willy nilly. And during this whole conversation of trying to like see how we can reconcile and move forward, that person got really upset with how we reacted to him doing this. So he kicked us all like closed. Like he changed all the passwords and everything like that, and then he went live on TikTok and started talking all this shit about us and like, and yeah,
what a fucking asshole, dude.
So, and that's when he did that. That's when the other members got really like pissed about it, and they started showing receipts, like showing screenshots and stuff. Like no, this dude's crazy. Like he kicked us all out of the group. And so TikTok like rallied against him, and like everyone like I guess this dude was like getting like death threats and stuff, which I don't think that's cool. I think that was taken too far,
cool.
but because it's just TikTok. But it dude, it exploded. Like I had people I never even talked to really hitting me up like, yo, what's going on with like, yeah. And I don't know if he's still on the app or not, or making content, because he blocked me during all this when it all went down. Yeah. I honestly, like, when it all started like imploding, I was kind of like, okay, like I'm done. Like I didn't even want to like react to it. Like I didn't, like everyone else made videos about it and stuff, and I was just like, of course, I'm just gonna pretend it didn't happen, like, and move on, because like it's just really, I don't like to breed more negativity. You know, I don't think it's, and I don't fault anyone for having the reactions and making the videos. It's just like it just wasn't something that I wanted to get into. So then the remaining members, they formed Mosh Talkers, and they found a couple new people as well. And they put a whole group together, and they asked me, you know, of course, like if I wanted to be in it, and I was just like, I love the idea of it. I fully 100% support you guys, but that was just when I was starting my podcast. So I was like, I really want to focus on this right now. Yeah. Like I really want to focus on the podcast. Like I love the collab group idea, but like creating content for a whole nother platform, it was just like, I didn't have it in me. But we're all super tight. It's cool.
That is cool. That kind of content's very hard for me because it is very creative. I just like showcasing bands. That's all I want to do, dude. I just want to showcase bands.
That's the thing. I'm not very good at that stuff either. Like the other creators in that are fucking great at creating like funny, like, you know, trendy style content that still incorporates, you know, the scene culture. And like that's just like I mean, I don't know, I like to have fun and introvert around, do fun stuff, but like that's just not the kind of content I'm good at creating. I feel like, I don't know, like you said, I like to just expose bands and, you know, share music. So
Alex Ryan said it recently on his TikTok from Frozen Forever. We need more fucking drama and beef in the industry. That way, like, you know, things can get like a little spicy again. So you and I should probably start beef to, you know.
Yeah, we should start beefing for sure. Yeah,
do it.
We should like make some takedown videos, and like I'll block you, then you'll block me.
And then I'll screenshot you blocking me, and then you'll screenshot. No, he blocked me first, and his mustache is fucking ugly, dude. Like, don't even listen to this guy. Like, he has no idea what he's talking about.
Love it. Yeah.
I don't know.
I see no reason not to do this. Yeah.
I mean, with all the engagement you said it brought on, you never know.
Yeah, dude, it was weird. Like that was like that page, like, because like then the dude ended up deleting the whole Punk Talkers page when that all happened, which sucks because like there's a lot of like content that the other members made that they've lost forever because of that. So that part really sucks. But yeah, for those, like, for that weekend before it was taken away, before it was like taken down, and all like the drama was happening, like, dude, that page was on fire. Like it was like, it racked up like another, I think, like 50,000 followers every night for like a couple nights, and like it was like so many comments because people want to know what the fuck was going on. Like people were like, what's happening on this? Like, who's in the group? Like,
we're definitely starting beef. Also, on a real note, if you're in this community and you want to like be involved and have a platform, here's some advice: don't be a fucking dick.
I mean, there's like that old saying or adage or whatever you want to call it. It's like, if you're in a room with a bunch of people and you think everyone's an asshole, you might be the asshole. You know, like,